Welcome to the Indian Council of Medical Research online prescribing skill course 2020 for the Indian medical graduate. We will be talking today about rheumatoid arthritis and gout. I am Dr. Dinesh Badial and I will be talking on rheumatoid arthritis.
Myself, Dr. Madhulika Peter Samuel, I will be talk about gout.
After viewing these videos, please answer the multiple choice questions on the videos and also provide feedback. You can access these in the assignment section. Rheumatoid arthritis and gout module is prepared by ICMR Rational Use of Medicine Center, Christian Medical College, Ludhiana. The authors include myself, Dr. Dinesh Kumar Badial. Co-authors are Dr. Madhulika Peter Samuel, Dr. Ritesh Arvind Pandey from the same center. I am thankful to Dr. Pooja Gupta, Associate Professor, Department of Pharmacology, AIIMS New Delhi for reviewing this module. Learning objectives for this module are: state the principles of management of a patient suffering from rheumatoid arthritis, prescribe rationally for a specified patient suffering from rheumatoid arthritis based on the clinical features, educate the patients regarding appropriate use of proton pump inhibitors along with NSAIDs in these patients, state the criteria for referral of a patient with rheumatoid arthritis for a specialist care, prescribe appropriate corticosteroid at the correct starting dose based on appropriately selected route, frequency and duration. Counsel the patient regarding the gradual withdrawal of steroids. Outline of this module: why this topic is important, topic related competencies expected as per MCI, prioritize list of topics, introduction followed by case studies, diagnosis, treatment, algorithms, patient videos, some do's and don'ts, and finally take home messages and resource document. Topic related competencies expected of IMG as per MCI 2018: classify and describe the etiology, immunology, pathogenesis, manifestation, radiological and laboratory features, diagnostic criteria and complications of rheumatoid arthritis. Describe and discuss the atopathogenesis, clinical features, investigations and principles of management of various inflammatory disorders of joints. Describe the mechanism of action, types, doses, side effects, indications and contraindications of corticosteroids. Based on the list of topics: rheumatoid arthritis, gout, migraine, inflammatory bowel disease, bronchial asthma, hypertrophic inflammatory conditions and pelvic inflammatory disease. Prioritized list of topic for this module is rheumatoid arthritis. Why this topic is important? Rheumatoid arthritis is a chronic, progressive, systemic, autoimmune inflammatory disease that mainly affects the small joints of the hand and feet. There is pain and inflammation of the joints with synovial proliferation and destruction of articulate cartilages. It is 2 to 3 times more common in women. Since it is a systemic disease, patients might have associated symptoms like fever, weight loss and fatigue. Let us start with case 1. A 50-year-old lady came to the OPD. She complains of pain and early morning stiffness in both the wrists for the last 2 months. The stiffness stays for an hour or so in the morning and decreases as the day goes off. There is history of malaise also present. The patient told the doctor that she took some medications for the same, but there was little relief of symptoms. Joint examination reveals symmetrical swelling and tenderness of the joints. Now the question being asked is, what happened and how this can be prevented? Look at the investigations. Acute phase reactant ESR, CRP both are raised, rheumatoid factor is positive, anti-CCP antibodies are high, X-ray of both wrist joints shows uniform symmetrical joint space narrowing, periarticular osteopenia and marginal subchondral erosions. Patient's problems are pain and stiffness in both wrist joints, swelling and tenderness in both the wrist joints and history of malaise. Now, you need to look at these questions. How will you make the diagnosis of the condition in this patient? What should be the treatment plan for this patient? And when to refer this patient to the specialist? The diagnosis of rheumatoid arthritis was made on the basis of American College of Rheumatology, European League Against Rheumatism 2010 classification criteria. Based on symptoms of pain and stiffness of wrist joints in the early morning in both wrist joints, X-ray findings and investigations. Now, if you look at those This patient meets the criteria for the diagnosis of newly presenting rheumatoid arthritis case, as she has joint involvement, positive serology, elevated Q's phase reactants, and duration of symptoms is more than 6 weeks. Make sure to make differentiation between rheumatoid arthritis and osteoarthritis. Refer to the reference material too. In rheumatoid arthritis, it is characterized by inflammation of synovial membranes and surrounding structures and commonly affects the joints bilaterally, and it is more common in women. Osteoarthritis is a degenerative arthritis characterized by the loss of cartilage on the articular surfaces of weight bearing joints with spur development. It may occur in one hip or knee, and it also affects both sexes equally. Management treatment options as per guidelines are disease modifying anti-rheumatoid drugs, DMARDs, anti-inflammatory drugs. Out of these, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, NSAIDs, corticosteroids, combination therapies, and biologicals. Choice of drug: comparing these options, decide for the patient as per patient details on the basis of efficacy, safety, drug interaction, suitability, and cost. So, in this case, the choice of drug is DMARD therapy, that is methotrexate. DMARDs include methotrexate, hydroxychloroquine, sulfasalazine, leflunomide, and biological agents. Methotrexate is usually the drug of choice and is the anchor drug of most therapies in rheumatoid arthritis. Methotrexate as a disease modifying agent would alter the natural history of the disease rather than just treat the symptoms. NSAIDs and corticosteroids may help to relieve symptoms. They do not slow or prevent structural progression of the disease. For more details on choice of DMARDs, NSAIDs, dosage, frequency, and use of corticosteroids in rheumatoid arthritis and their areas, please refer to the reference document. Case 1, write an appropriate prescription for this patient now. The following depicts a prescription for this patient. You can see this prescription where methotrexate is prescribed 7.5 mg per week. That is important that this drug is given per week, and along with NSAID aceclofenac 100 mg OD for 10 days, and there is a scheduled revisit of the patient after 10 days. Make sure all parts of prescriptions are as per the format given. Looking at the patient response and how often to review, further follow up is required after completion of 1 week or 10 days of treatment. Earlier, if symptoms aggravate or there is severe gastric symptoms. Referral if there is a persistent swelling of the joint after 6 weeks of treatment. Let us come to case number 2. A 50-year-old patient comes to the OPD with gastrointestinal disturbances, dyspepsia, and abdominal pain. He provided history of pain and morning stiffness in both knee joints. He is on medication for rheumatoid arthritis for the last 3 months. The doctor in the OPD takes the history to rule out any cause for gastrointestinal disturbance. He is not taking any drugs to prevent peptic ulcers. The doctor in the OPD prescribed a drug to be taken empty stomach in the morning before breakfast. Look at the patient's problems: gastrointestinal disturbance, dyspepsia, abdominal pain, pain and stiffness in both knee joints, swelling and tenderness in both the knee joints. Now, the questions are: what is the cause of gastric symptoms in this patient on medication for rheumatoid arthritis? Which group of drugs the doctor might have prescribed to the patient to be consumed empty stomach? Now, look at some of the possible answers. NSAIDs given in the rheumatoid arthritis to reduce joint pain may lead to gastric mucosal damage and ulcer formation. The doctor might have prescribed proton pump inhibitors known as PPIs along with NSAIDs to prevent gastritis and ulcer formation. For this case, write an appropriate prescription. The following depicts the prescription for this patient. You can see here PPI pantoprazole is added 40 mg OD for 10 days. 1 tablet to be taken early in the morning, empty stomach at least 30 minutes before the breakfast. That is important to avoid its adverse effects, which are related to again gastric adverse effects. Looking at the patient response and how often to review, further follow up is planned after completion of 7 days of treatment, early if symptoms aggravate or any adverse effect appears. Referral if patient complains of severe gastrointestinal pain or black stools. Coming some of the possible rational answers to this. This case history depicts the importance of use of anti-ulcer drugs PPIs along with NSAIDs to prevent gastritis and ulcer formation. Patients of rheumatoid arthritis might need NSAIDs for longer duration to reduce pain and inflammation in the joints. Long term use of NSAIDs leads to gastric or duodenal ulcer as they inhibit production of gastroprotective prostaglandins. That leads to decreased production of mucus and increased acid production. Back diffusion of H1s in gastric mucosa also plays a role. Pantoprazole 40 mg empty stomach or other PPIs should be prescribed along with NSAIDs in rheumatoid arthritis to prevent gastritis and ulcer formation. For more details, refer to reference material. Let us come to case number 3. A 60-year-old female patient came to the OPD with diagnosis of rheumatoid arthritis. She is taking a drug in the powder form from a practitioner for last 4 months. Pain and swelling and morning stiffness decreased after taking this drug. However, whenever she stops the medicine, she experiences joint pain and other symptoms with same severity as earlier. On examination, the doctor also found purple stria on the abdomen of the patient. The patient's problems are recurrence of pain and stiffness in both knee joints, swelling and tenderness in both the knee joints, purple stria on the abdomen. Now, the questions are which group of drugs the practitioner might have prescribed, why there is recurrence of symptoms when the patient stops taking drugs prescribed by the practitioner, why there were purple stria on the abdomen of the patient. Looking at the possible answers, drug which has been given by the practitioner to the patient is some corticosteroid. There was recurrence of the symptoms after stopping the drug, as long term use of steroids can lead to steroid dependency and abrupt withdrawal should be avoided. Purple stria on the abdomen is one of the typical adverse effects of corticosteroid administration. Steroids can be used in any stage in rheumatoid arthritis along with first line and second line drugs. A potent anti-inflammatory action is required. The symptomatic relief is prompt and marked, but these drugs do not arrest the rheumatoid process. Long term use of steroids can lead to steroid dependency and many adverse drug reactions. Abrupt withdrawal should be avoided and there should be gradual tapering of the dose of steroids. Long term use may lead to hypothalamus, pituitary, adrenal axis suppression also. You can even refer to the reference material to have a look at the ADRs of corticosteroids. Coming to patient response and how often to review. Further follow up is planned after completion of 7 days of treatment, earlier if symptoms aggravate or any adverse effect appears. A referral has to be done if patient complains of severe gastrointestinal pain or black stools. Common errors as observed in prescriptions for these patients are NSAIDs are prescribed alone and proton pump inhibitors are not given along with NSAIDs. There is unnecessary and irrational use of corticosteroids in rheumatoid arthritis which leads to steroid dependency and several adverse drug reactions. Some do's in this scenario: differentiate between rheumatoid arthritis and osteoarthritis so that appropriate treatment is provided. Start treatment of rheumatoid arthritis with DMARDs. PPIs should be given along with NSAIDs. Educate patient to take PPIs empty stomach in the morning. Educate patient about continuing with prescribed dosage from the drug to continue to have the recommended benefits. Some don'ts: do not give NSAIDs along for pain reduction and it can lead to gastritis. Do not administer corticosteroid by oral route for longer duration. Do not abruptly stop corticosteroids. Do not give more than 2 doses of intra-articular corticosteroid injections per year. Coming to take home message. Start treatment of rheumatoid arthritis with DMARDs. If NSAIDs are prescribed, proton pump inhibitor should be prescribed in rheumatoid arthritis to prevent gastritis and ulcer formation. Use corticosteroid judicially in rheumatoid arthritis. Abrupt withdrawal of steroids should be avoided. These are some useful references and sources for further reading.
Learning objective for this module: at the end of the module, what we are expecting from the Indian medical graduate, the IMG should be able to state the principle of management of gout presenting as arthritis. Second, prescribe rationally for a patient presenting with acute attack of gout. And third is prescribe rationally for a patient diagnosed as gout to prevent its flaring. Fourth is counsel patients suffering from gout regarding lifestyle modification. Communicate to patients suffering from gout information and instruction regarding prescribed medicine. Outline of the module: first is why this topic is important, then topic related competencies expected as per MCI document, prioritized list, the introduction of gout followed by the case studies, important do's and don'ts, take home message and the references. So, why this topic is important? Gout is a disease of king disease or rich man disease, and it is a common type of arthritis in which there is intense pain, swelling, redness and stiffness in a joint. So, incidence of the gout is increasing day by day, even in some countries increasing from 1 to 4% to 10%. And why it is increasing? Because our change in the day to day activities is now changed. There is a high intake of alcohol and there is a high intake of protein diet as a meat. Even people are taking processed food, and there is an incidence with the comorbidities also increasing like obesity and in diabetes, even in the hypertension. So, majority of the gout cases we can treat it with medicines. Aim of the therapy is to decrease the progression of the disease by delaying the process of inflammation. Now, the topic related competencies expected of IMG from the source of MCI 2018 document. There are two competencies like describe mechanisms of action, types, doses, side effects, indications and contraindication of the drug which act by modulating autocoids, including many drugs in which we have drugs for gout. Then we have a competency discuss the laboratory results of analytic associated with the gout. Now, the prioritized list of topic is appropriate selection and prescription of drugs in the acute attack of gout, appropriate selection and prescription of NSAIDs in the acute attack of gout, appropriate prescription of steroids in the acute attack of gout, and there is advice on dietary modification, advice of lifestyle modification. So, come to the gout. Gout is a metabolic and it is a chronic progressive joint disorder, and it is usually occur when there is a hyperuricemia. Normal level of uric acid is 2 to 6 milligram per deciliter, but it does not necessarily, if there is a rise in uric acid level, there is always a gout occur. Patient can be asymptomatic, but the main pathology when there is an increased level of uric acid, there is a deposition of monosodium urate crystal in the joint, and that cause the progressions, cascades of inflammation, and that leads to redness and swelling of the joint. They are of two types. The patient can present to as acute gout, or there is a chronic history, the patient can present as a chronic gout case. So, the acute case is treated with the NSAIDs, colchicine, steroids, they are the main therapy, but we have other option also. And the chronic gout is initially, and it should be treated with the allopurinol, and then it can be treated with the probenecids, febuxostat, etc. First case study, Mohan, a 55-year-old male patient presented in the OPD with complaints of pain in the right big toe from past 2 days. The pain in joint has increased and there is redness and swelling of the joint from the last night. He has no history of alcohol intake or smoking. On examination, his vitals are respiratory 22 per minute, pulse rate 78 per minute, temperature 98 degree Fahrenheit, BP 120 by 70 mm of mercury. His general physical examination was normal, and on local examination there is redness, swelling and tenderness around the joint, and on investigation uric acid was 9 milligram per deciliter. So, what is your diagnosis for the above case and how would you treat such cases? Diagnosis of acute attack of gout was made on the basis of American College of Rheumatology, that is ACR criteria. For the detail you need to go for the reference material for the more information. So, presently the patient problems are pain in the right big toe from past 2 days and pain in the joint has increased and there is a redness and swelling of the joint from last night. As per guideline management's treatment options we have is NSAIDs, colchicine, corticosteroid, even we can give the combination therapy. In the last, if it is not effective, we can give interleukin 1 inhibitors. So, what is your choice of drug? Comparing these options, decide for this patient as per patient detail on the basis of drug efficacy and safety, drug-drug interaction and its cost also. So, choice of drug in this clinical scenario is naproxen because according to ILARC guideline, treatment option depend on severity, number of affected joint, duration of attack. So, in this case better option is naproxen which is belong to the NSAID family, and naproxen specifically inhibit the chemotactic migration of leukocyte from the inflamed joint and it has a very strong anti-inflammatory activity. Because of that it can resolve the sign and symptom within days like 5 to 8 days and there is a less burden on the kidney. So, usually this drug is better tolerated except in the acute peptic ulcer disease patient. So, in some cases we need to give omeprazole tablet 20 milligram OD usually with the naproxen. So, naproxen again is not associated with the myocardial infarction and if gives on regular basis it can effectively suppress the platelet function. So, it carries a lower thrombotic risk than the other NSAIDs like diclofenac and etoricoxib. But we have other NSAIDs option like piroxicam, etoricoxib, endomethacin, ibuprofen, diclofenac and celecoxib. And the detail about these drugs you have to go for the reference material. So, now you have to write a appropriate prescription for this patient. So, this is the appropriate prescription in which you can see is doctor has prescribed tablet naproxen 500 milligram BD for 10 days and the one tablet is taken in the morning and second tablet it has to take in the evening after meals with the tablet omeprazole 20 milligram OD for 10 days and this has to be taken 30 minutes before the meal in the morning. Plus you should tell the patient should take a low protein diet in which doctor has to mention patient should take there is a low fat and dietary product and there should not be any fruit juice, vegetables and bread or rice and patient has to re-follow up after 10 days. So, after completing the therapy after 10 days patient can come back or if there is any problem of any ADR, if the patient is not improving with the therapy patient can come early also. As far as for the referral in this case it is not required. Now, move on to the second case. Second case we have a Sukhvinder 56-year-old male patient presenting in OPD with complaints of redness and swelling of left big toe from last night. The patient had similar kind of complaints in the past 6 to 8 months. Local practitioner had already prescribed tablet endomethacin 25 milligram BD as well as tablet colchicine in previous months. But now patient is again presenting with pain, swelling, redness of the left big toe. Uric acid was raised 10 milligram per deciliter and there is again no history of alcohol and smoking. On examination his respiratory rate 22 per minute, pulse rate 82 per minute, temperature 98 degree Fahrenheit, BP 120/70 and his general physical examination was normal, but on local examination there is redness, swelling and tenderness around the left big toe. So, what is your diagnosis and how would you treat such cases? Now, again the diagnosis is made up upon the ACR criteria and you have to look for the reference material for detail. Now, the patient problems are there is a redness and swelling of the left big toe from the last night and the patient has similar kind of complaint from the past few months and he had already taken the endomethacin 25 milligram BD plus the tablet colchicine in the previous month. But now the patient presenting again with the pain and swelling of the left big toe. So, again we have treatment option as per the guideline NSAIDs, colchicine. steroids, even we can give again combination, and lastly the interleukin 1 inhibitors as per the guideline. Now what is your drug of choice as per patient detail, as per drug efficacy, safety, drug interaction, its cost wise. So the choice of drug will be steroid, in this case that is oral prednisolone. Rationality is steroid is indicated in this patient because steroid usually used in refractory cases. In this case is a acute attack of gout and patient has no response of NSAIDs and patient already taken NSAIDs plus the colchicine. So the drug of choice would be oral prednisolone. The dosage is 30 mg per day for 10 days. Now what is the appropriate prescription for this kind of patient? You can see we prescribe the prednisolone 30 mg OD for 10 days, 1 tablet he has to take for 10 days, and plus the important instruction you should give is the low protein intake, and patient has to follow up after 10 days. After completing the therapy, patient will come back to you, or earlier if there is no improvement or there is any other adverse drug reaction. So in case of referral, in this case if it is not controlled with the oral prednisolone, then we can refer the patient. Now there is important do's about the gout you should remember. Advice for dietary modification such as low protein diet, and you start first with the NSAID to treat the flare in acute gout. If it not responding to it, then go for colchicine or corticosteroid. Third is start on low dose of colchicine or NSAIDs like tablet naproxen 250 mg per day as a prophylaxis against the urate lowering drugs. Induce gout flare in patient with no contraindication, and you should not prescribe allopurinol in all the cases of gout. You should know whether it is acute or chronic. Only in the chronic cases you start the allopurinol, not in the acute cases, because in the chronic cases also initially 1 to 2 months there is a acute flare up because of the allopurinol therapy. To cover up that, we give the NSAIDs or the colchicine. Now there are some don'ts about the gout. Do not start steroid in the comorbidity like diabetes or hypertension because it can worsen their condition. And the second is do not prescribe colchicine in the chronic kidney failure stage 5 patient where the GFR is less than 15 ml per minute. And do not start on uricosuric drug without measuring the uric acid in 24-hour urine collection. Now the take home message is always start with NSAIDs for acute pain relief in gout, and second is if not tolerating NSAID or if there is any contraindication, then you go for colchicine and steroid. And the last is start on the low doses of colchicine or NSAIDs, for example tablet naproxen 250 mg per day as a prophylaxis against the urate lowering drugs induce gout flare in patient with no contraindication. So these are my references.
We acknowledge the help and support of Rational Use of Medicine Center team members, Christian Medical College, Ludhiana. We also acknowledge the help of Dr. Gaurav Gulrez, ex-Associate Professor Pharmacology, Christian Medical College, Ludhiana, and also all the physicians from various institutes and private practitioners whose inputs helped us in selecting cases.
Thank you for watching this video. Hope you are now ready for attempting the MCQs. Please assess the MCQs in the assignment section and submit your answer.
Please also complete the perception evaluation as in the tutorial, which I hope you have already seen. Thank you
and happy learning.